Hi and welcome to a new tutorial on my channel. In this tutorial I want to show you how to create this cute bumpy edge that you can use for necklines, for sweaters, sweater cuffs, and maybe for other projects that you can come up with that use such a cute scalloped edge. These are not picots, although you could also make picots, and I will make a separate video on how to make picots at the beginning of a row in Tunisian crochet. This is a demonstration with thicker yarn, as you can see, but in your project you will have to use the yarn that is used in the rest of the project so that the edge matches the project. So you can see this folded edge makes a nice neckline on the Sporeprint sweater. And the pattern for this sweater you will find in my shops. You can make this wider by using a larger number of starting stitches, but then you might have some issues with rolling. So I would go maybe with 7 instead of 5 stitches like I'm going to show you in this tutorial. As you can see, this creates these cute nubs on the edge, and these don't bother you when touching the edge, the neck, as much as just regular stitches would, and they look better as well. This is another view of the same thing in the other sweater. You can see the little nubs here. So for this project you will need an edge, and I will be using this swatch here to demonstrate on it, and we'll pretend that it's the neckline of a sweater. And as you can see, I bound off the simple stitches in the last row. I'll be using a different color of yarn so that you can see it nicely, and an 8mm hook. This is worsted weight yarn or size 4. If you've just seamed the sweater, you probably have the yarn attached, or if not, you can attach yarn again. First you create a slip knot and you put it on the hook, and you slip it through the first stitch to lock it. An alternative would be not making a slip knot. You insert the hook through the stitch and then draw up a loop, and that also works. So to make the first row we have an odd number of chains. I will make 5. You can make 7 or 9 depending on how wide you want the band here at the neck to be. So I chained 5, and then we pick up 5 loops in the back bumps of the chains, or as many loops as you have based on how many chains you made. That's 6 loops on the hook, and then we pick up 1 more loop in the first stitch where we attached the yarn. Now we do a short row return pass with yarn over and pull through 2 to the beginning of the row to return. That's the first row. For the second row we have 2 simple stitches, and if you are making 7 then you have 3, if 9 then you have 4 stitches here. Yarn over, skip 1, and pick up 2 more stitches, or how many you have left depending on how wide you made this part. Then we pick up 1 loop in the next stitch, and then we do a return pass, a short row return pass by doing a yarn over, pull through 2 to the beginning of the row to return. This creates an eyelet here in the middle, and the next row is Tunisian simple stitch to the end. So we have 2 Tunisian simple stitches, or 3 or 4, and then to work into the eyelet we insert the hook through and pick up a loop. Then we have the rest of the simple stitches, and in the next stitch on the neckline we pick up 1 loop, and then we do a short row return pass. Now we will repeat these 2 rows, one with the eyelet and one without, until we reach back to the beginning where we started. So we go all around the neckline. 2 simple stitches, yarn over, skip 1, 2 simple stitches. Pick up a loop in the next stitch, short row, return pass. Simple stitches, pick up 1 loop in the next stitch, short row, return pass. Again, 2 simple stitches, yarn over, skip 1, and 2 simple stitches. Pick up 1 loop, short row, return pass. I will continue this until I reach the end of this section. Now this is the edge completed before folding. You can see these clusters, and when we fold the fabric, they create the little spikes. To keep this, we need to sew it down. Normally, if you work all around the neckline, you return with the working yarn to the beginning here, and then you use the tail to seam up this part here first before sewing down the neckline like this. You can follow the other tutorial for seaming Tunisian simple stitches, so I will not show it in this video, but check out the other video about seaming simple stitches and fixing mistakes when it comes to the length of your project. That will also be part of the tutorials for the Sporeprint sweater. So let's assume that you seamed this up like this, these 2 ends. And now we can fold the edge and start seaming it to the bottom here on the back so that you can use the neckline. I will attach a different color of yarn so you can see what I'm doing. You can also switch to a regular hook that's a bit smaller. I will use this pink yarn that ended here on the back. We will be working on the back here, and we will attach this edge to the base of the stitches where we picked up the loop to create the end of this row. So we insert the hook through the top here. This is the beginning of the row. And then we insert the hook through the same stitch where we picked up the loop to create the end of this row. And then we slip stitch. We will slip stitch loosely, so don't pull back on the yarn like this. You want it to be quite loose so that the neckline is still a bit elastic. Then we insert the hook through the first stitch of the next row and back into the same stitch where we picked up the loop. Slip stitch. And continue this until you return to the first row. Normally you would use the same color of yarn as the one you used to make the neckline, unless you want a cute accent here. As you can see, I'm working very loosely because slip stitches are very stiff, so you need to give them some space when working with slip stitches. So I'm at the last stitch. And this is what the seam looks like on the back of the work. You have the chains here and the back, and then the front of the work you should not see the pink. And this is the finished neckline. Normally if you work around, you would reach back here and then cut off the yarn and weave in the ends. As you can see, these are very cute and they make a nice edge for a sweater neckline. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and check out all the other tutorials that are here on the channel that will teach you how to make Tunisian crochet stitches, and there are also tutorials for various tricks for intermediate and advanced Tunisian crochet. And of course I'm planning more such tutorials for things that you will not find anywhere else, because I'm just inventing them as I go. If you want a project to use this in, check out the Sporeprint sweater pattern, which is free on the blog and available as a PDF with a full size range and accessible versions for all the sizes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!